Hey everybody, Alex here, and welcome to an all-American pickup video. So, I've been arguing with the lighting for like the better half of an hour, and I've basically made this room entirely too dark, and even with the camera light I used, it just made me look like I was, I don't know, a survivor of sorts. We're not doing any of that, so this one's a little dim. Maybe I'll try to correct it after the fact. Not really sure. We'll see what happens. But I want to toss up a pickup video only because it's been really crazy with work. The spring is very busy for what I do now. So I haven't really had the time to do any other vids for the journal. I'll do the month end one, of course. If I happen to squeeze one in, cool. But I tried to do one on Persona 5 Strikers, and that just didn't happen. So with that being said, I did pick up Persona 5 Strikers. I actually put it away because I finished it. I did get the Best Buy version, I guess you could say, because it came with a steelbook. And apparently this steelbook is like super rare. I don't know I don't know if there was a lot of them, but I finished the game and it took me around about 30-ish, close to 40 hours. As a follow-up to Persona 5, I thought it was great, and I'll talk about it more in the month-end recap. But I'll put it to you this way: it was advertised as a Dynasty Warriors style game, but it's really not. Um, it's actually much different, I think, just to say the least. You can't play it like a hack and slash. You gotta play it like a hack and slash Muso game. I'm sorry, a hack and slash SMT game. I never played any of the Devil Summoner games. Maybe it's similar to that. I'm not really sure, but overall it was great. And I have to say, it had a feel of like season 2 of an anime, where it kind of just picks up right where everything left off, like a little bit after the fact. So if you never played the original Persona 5, none of this will make any damn sense to you. It does reference a few things, and oddly enough, it doesn't reference Royal at all, which I haven't played, so that's fun. Anyway, so on to other pickups. I had this in order, and then now it's not in order. So we're going to go in whatever order seems to work the best. So PlayAsia recently did a restock of some Vita games, so I picked up a physical copy of Soul Sacrifice Delta. The Asian version, we never got this physically over here, we only got it digitally. For whatever reason, the Vita is still being produced. Cartridges are still being produced in Asia, but unfortunately, East Asia Soft keeps making strange game selections to waste the remaining cartridges on. I mean, we could have had Sharon Nokuni, just saying, but I don't know. That's a fiasco. Again, I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Also, as I nearly knock everything over, I picked up... Oh my god, Alex, come on. Anyway. On the DS, I picked up a physical copy of Metal Max 3. So this came out in Japan only, and it has a fan translation. So per the rule, I have to legitimately own it. This is not a cheap game. This is like 60 USD on eBay, and I don't know why. The longest time I think the cheapest I'd seen it up until I got this copy was about 65-70. So this one is complete. I got this off of Amazon Japan from a third-party seller who was using Amazon to fulfill their stuff. So this was 40. Like I said, very cheap compared to what it normally goes for. I really don't know why. It's rare, I guess. I used to see this in Book Off all the time back in the day. I just never grabbed it. Now, obviously, there's nothing. But in terms of listings on eBay, there was a couple, but not a lot. But from the same seller, I also picked up Tact of Magic, which is the sequel to, oh my god, I already forgot the name of it. To, Magical Star Sign. Fuck, forgot the name already. Anyway, it was on the DS. And this is the sequel. This is actually from Book Off. I think from originally in Japan, because it came with a bunch of the paperwork for it. Anyway, so this also got a fan translation and was put on the Wii, and this is actually sealed. It's brand new. Never opened. It was about, this came out to, I think, roughly 20 US dollars. And that's the thing I've noticed with Amazon Japan. The shipping is great. They use DHL, but the pricing of their shipping has gone up a lot. So if you are planning to buy anything from them, I recommend stacking 2 to 3 things in there. Because once you hit the 4th thing, or at least a certain weight, it like jumps up double. So if it's like 20, it'll turn to 40. So just keep that in mind when you're ordering. On the PS4, I picked up a copy of Neptunia Virtual Stars. I got this from Target. They did a buy 2 get 1 thing a while back, and it worked for pre-orders, so I decided to get this, which basically made it, I think, $39.99 or $34.99. Not hearing too much of a good thing about this. A lot of people say it's pretty shitty. But the good news is we're getting yet another remake of the original Hyperdimension Neptunia. On the PS5, this was on sale for $10 off. It was like, I think, $29. A copy of Devil May Cry Special Edition. If you've been watching this fiasco for a while, I absolutely adored this game. I actually like Nero. I'm also a big Johnny Young Bosch fan, which isn't particularly a popular opinion. Oh, and I gave blood today, in case you're wondering what this is. Or rather, I went to the doctor and had to give blood. So, with that, you know, the special edition does have some enhancements. From what I read, the PS4 version does get some, but not all. They basically forced you to double dip. And I am dumb enough to do so, because I really enjoyed this game. And I wouldn't mind replaying it, honestly. I also grabbed a copy of Warhammer Chaos Bane on the PS5. The Slayer edition apparently has all the stuff, and then some, and it's also on the PS5. This came out a while ago, and for whatever reason, they decided to re-release this, I think, for $60 again. I got this for, I think it was $29 or $34, round about that. That, to me, I thought for like a reissue, up-resi thing, and with some expansion, like a total edition, I thought that was fair. I don't think it's appropriate, I guess, to charge $60 when it's really just a rehash plus DLC, I guess you could say. And the rest of this is all Switch stuff. Limited Run finally came through with a couple of games. It only took forever in a week, but that's because I tend to stack things together. So let me pull them out so we can knock them all out at once. I am missing one. Oh, well, anyway. So I got a copy of Streets of Rage 4 on the Switch. I already beat it a while ago on Game Pass. It was excellent. Came with a CD. I totally forgot. Also got a copy of Panzer Dragoon Saga. Wow, that would be the day. Panzer Dragoon on the Switch. This was before they announced the physical of the PS4 version or anything, so Stupid Alex pre-ordered this. I ended up downloading it and beating it on the PS4 via the PS5 just because this fucking shit took too long. And even, like, I bought this purely because I love the Panzer Dragoon Saga, as in the series, not the saga. And I've finished all of them at this point, so that's Zwei. But I got this really just to back it with the hopes of them, you know, trying to convince whoever owns the IP to do the second one, which apparently they are doing now. It's cool to have it on the Switch, but when I was watching reviews and gameplay, even I was just like, okay, I can accept a lot, and I've played this on the Saturn, and admittedly it looks better than the Saturn. But yeah, this thing, man, it can't push the graphics anymore. The tech is too old. I'm sorry. I wanted to do a whole video on the Switch and why it's great and why it sucks at the same time. But I thought it would come off as kind of ranty, but when you see a review for a Switch game and there's a section dedicated to performance, that tells you there's a problem. Even if the game runs perfectly flawlessly, a lot of review channels I watch have added in a performance tab for multi-plat games for the Switch. because it needs it. It needs to be there at this point, honestly. Even in games where the horsepower isn't really being pushed, there's still frame drops, there's still assets missing, there's still low res textures. It's kind of a mess. Which brings me to my next point, and this game I literally finished maybe an hour ago, and I thought this game was phenomenal. Bravely Default 2. I am not. The art style had. It took a while to grow. Sorry for the glare. It took a while to grow on me, to be honest, because I prefer the 3DS style aesthetic. This definitely keeps the environmental piece for the towns. Characters look kind of plasticky. They look like toys, which I guess was the point. But in the essence of some of the battles and some of the animations, you see the dynamic resolution going there. Stuff starts to blur. Stuff starts to look like it has a Vaseline filter or a glaucoma filter, whichever you prefer. And I would not be surprised if this ends up on PC sometime soon, just like Octopath Traveler did. But even then, I feel like Octopath Traveler was pushing it more because of the graphics style. Like the lighting in that game is ridiculous. The lighting in this game is non-existent, and it's on the Unreal Engine. And I get it, it's easy to use at this point, and Square pays for a license, all that fun stuff. The Switch can't do it. I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with the game inherently, but it's obvious. Like when the game goes to save, there's a certain section where you need to go into the save menu. There's a hint for you later on in the game, and there's a lag spike. That kind, maybe that's supposed to be a tip-off point for you, that you're supposed to be here. But I thought the game froze, and that it made me paranoid. All right, but the game actually is very good about auto saving, by the way. The job system is great. Everything about the game, it's honestly, I think Pro Jared put it best. It's the best 8 out of 10 game he's ever played, because it is very, very painfully familiar. Just like the other Bravely games, it's very much a riff off of the Four Heroes of Light, the original Final Fantasies, all that stuff. If you're on board for that, you're going to love this game. If you're expecting Bravely Default 2 to go above and beyond that, you're going to be disappointed. It definitely does a bunch of that weird, like, fourth wall dimensional breaking stuff. I don't think that's really a spoiler, because every game has had it. Not as egregious as the first game, so you don't have to worry. But this game, I really enjoyed. I thought Gloria, who is the the female, the heroine of the game, I at first thought she was really just a rip off of Agnes, because she kind of is. But when you play through the missions, particularly the ones with the cutscenes, because there's a bunch of fetchy, stupid ones in here, you really get a bigger glimpse of her personality and how she's kind of worldly yet sheltered at the same time, and how she's kind of a genius and she's also kind of aloof. It's really interesting, and I really enjoyed her and Seth, the main character, and Adele as well. Elvis, besides the name, just to me, just didn't fit. But I also kind of laughed because I realized the main characters were all named after musical artists. Seth, I guess they're reaching for Seth Rollins. I'm not really sure. But or I guess, but Gloria Stefan, I would imagine Adele's Adele, and Elvis is Elvis. I thought that was kind of cute to start. I like how they did all the different accents. I read somewhere that a bunch of folks were criticizing the voice actor for Elvis and his fake Scottish accent, and then apparently he posted or tweeted back his like Scottish citizenship or something like that. I don't know. People just pick the weirdest things to stick on. I thought the voice acting was fine. I thought the performances were great. The music is also awesome. And I grabbed a copy. Oh, this finally came in. This was the other one, The Mummy Demastered. I had already finished this a while ago digitally, but I wanted to own a physical copy. The movie is shit. Don't watch the movie with Tom Cruise. The game is actually really good as a Metroid-style game, though. It's really fun. It's all killer, no filler. Grabbed a copy of Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury. I got this used because Nintendo. The game looks great. It runs a lot better, I think, than the Wii U version does. And Bowser's Fury, I haven't played it yet, but I watched the fiance play a bit of it. Is this like is this like Super Mario Godzilla? This is amazing. Looking forward to playing that in a bit. Now that I've done with all these RPGs, I am going to go back into my Trails of Cold Steel saga, as it were. Remaining, I went a little import crazy from Play Asia, and I got a bunch of titles here during their free shipping promotion. I got a copy of Cotton Reboot. This is the Japanese version. The Japanese version is in English. However, to play the game, it patches it, and the patch removes the English. It's a shooter. You can get away with it. Not a big deal, but fucking stupid. It's there. So I tried to work around of like taking the Switch and putting in airplane mode and stuff. Didn't work. Steam Prison. This is an Otome game. Again, also imported, has English on the cart. Forward the Sky. This is kind of interesting. It looks kind of like a mobile game. The screenshots really don't explain much. It looks like something that would be a mobile game or something that was on the Dreamcast. It's like a third-person adventure RPG. Actually, I take that back. The environments are very Dreamcast era. But everybody says it's dumb short. It's like 3 hours, and that I probably overpaid for this. But look cool. And Darius Cosmic Revelation, continuing in the Taito tradition of overpriced bullshit. This was available through Strictly Limited, for I think $79, $80 because of the exchange rate. I went with the Japanese version because it was $65 and had free shipping, and it came out much sooner and arrived much quicker, obviously. And English is on the cart because it's M2, and M2 allows you to change the language on the fly. I've only played the Darius HD, G Darius HD so far. Looks good, plays great. They even give you the original version to go with it, so you can cross-compare. One thing I do notice is, and maybe this is just me, the music seems really low, and Zentada has some really good music, so do yourself a favor and just crank it up. I think I showed this last month, but I couldn't remember, so I'm showing it again. Speaking of Strictly Limited, Guns, Gore, Cannoli 1 and 2 double pack. I must have ordered this like a year ago. Swords of the Sapphire Wings and Stranger of Sword City Revisited. This is a double pack from NIS of Dungeon RPGs. Stranger of Sword City originally was on the Xbox, the Vita, then re-released on the Vita, then it went to PC, and now it's on the Switch. And the Saviors of Sapphire Wings is an earlier experience dungeon RPG that I've never played. If you're into dungeon RPGs, like the first-person dungeon crawling games, these are actually really good. I really enjoy Experience's system. They also did the Deathmark game, which is more of like a horror visual novel with some dungeon, first-person dungeon crawling stuff going on in there. I like that their games tend to be very rooted in their mechanics. And by that I mean if the game is going to be difficult and arduous and painful, it is done with intent. Doesn't mean all the games are good. But I do appreciate the fact that they kind of stuck with their guns, and if they want to change it up a bit, they do so. With Stranger of Sword City, I'm not sure if it's in this one, but I can't remember if it was on the Vita. You had the option of changing between the traditional Western medieval graphics and anime graphics. Basically just acknowledging the influences and, the target demographic. So I thought that was cool. And then finally, from Super Rare Games, I got a copy of Creeks. This is a new game from the guys who made Machinarium, which is a phenomenal and beautiful puzzle platformer game, exploration style. Don't really know much about this. I actually just got the notification said from the makers of Machinarium, and I immediately just said, well, that's a purchase. And there you have it. Those are all the pickups. I say all the pickups like it was a little, but it was actually a lot. What's on the horizon for pickup-wise? I am looking forward to these NIS double packs whenever they come out for the silver case. And the NIS Classics, that to me, Soul Nomad, I have on the PS2. I also have Phantom Brave on the Wii. I think this is a really cool idea, and I hope they make more of them. I think that is something, as somebody who used to play all those games, I would love to see an Tonalico collection. That would be really cool. Also, and I'm hoping this gets a physical release. I saw a note that it will be the Neo Geo Pocket Color Collection, Volume 1. 10, it's all on the Switch. It's 10 Neo Geo Pocket Color games. Thank God I didn't buy any of them individually. I'm hoping for a physical of that. Part of me hopes it gets a limited edition. Part of me hopes it doesn't. And part of me hopes it goes to LRG. And the other part of me hopes it goes to NIS. The collection, the SNK collection that was done by NAS, I thought was really well done. I thought it came with a bunch of useless shit, but the music was great. The soundtrack was great. The art book was pretty cool. I kind of hope it goes to LRG just because it will probably be less money. But I also don't want it to go to LRG, not because I dislike them, but because the shipping is just fucking fiasco and it's disgusting. And this is something I would actually play like immediately because it's a handheld and I have a handheld system, as opposed to me buying the No More Heroes games just because I want to support this series. Anyway, I've been Alex. This has been an All American Pickup video, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take it easy.